Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Red Dog Projections. My name is Lucas, and I have Eric here with me as always.
Hey guys.
And today, we'll be taking a look at Joe Biden's alleged top 3 VP picks. Let's Talk Elections did a video on this a few days ago. We'll be taking a look at his alleged top 3, Kamala Harris, Val Demings, and Susan Rice. We'll go through this CNN article we have here, which they ranked each VP on how, kind of good they would be. And we'll see which one we think is the best one here. Now, with that being said, let's get right into it. So the first person we have here is Susan Rice. No denying Susan Rice does have quite a bit of experience. She served as the National Security Advisor under the Obama administration, as well as the U.S. ambassador to the UN. She's also an African-American, again, bringing out those African-American votes. I think she would be a pretty good pick for doing that. Now, she does have a little bit of baggage from, it says here, from the time from Benghazi and Michael Flynn stuff. But yes, baggage will play a huge factor here. But I do think that Susan Rice could probably help him in the southern regions, Joe Biden in the southern regions. Susan Rice, by the way, is from D.C., so obviously Biden doesn't really need that help carrying the district of D.C. D.C. hasn't voted Republican ever since they started voting in 1960s. So he does not need help carrying the District of Columbia. But Susan Rice would be a good African-American pick for trying to get those voters out. So I think Susan Rice would be, honestly, I think out of the three, I think Susan Rice is the weakest one here. She has a little bit of name recognition, but I'm not sure how much help she can bring to Joe Biden on the table. And that's going to be really important for him. I think that's it for Joe Biden, for Susan Rice. Do you have anything else to add, Eric?
No. The whole Benghazi situation, I do remember years ago, that really took a toll on her. And now she comes back, and people will definitely remember this baggage and remember how she handled the situation. People probably won't appreciate it, and that's probably the reason why she is the weakest one.
Definitely. All right, Eric, you want to move on now to Val Demings. This is a representative. She is representative from the state of Florida.
Yeah, we can move on to Val Demings, and here's a little bit of context about her. She first was the police chief of Orlando. Additionally, she currently does serve one of the House of Representatives seats in Florida, and as you can see in the image, she's a woman of color. So you'd think, this fills out most of the requirements that Joe Biden's looking for. A woman of color who had a bit of experience. She, as a police chief, she probably did develop a commanding tone, which could be helpful as vice president. But there are a few problems that we still encounter here. The first one is that her name recognition is not really there. Outside of Florida, she's not insanely known, and she didn't do anything insane or crazy. And she also, according to Lucas's tier list, only served as the House of Representatives, which transitions into our next factor, experience. Although, yes, she was a police chief, it really stops there, right after the House of Representatives. This job does give some experience, but we think it's not enough to serve as a vice president. And the last problem we run into is that because she was a police chief, she did clash with the Black Lives Matter. The leaders of that movement really did not want her to become vice president because in general they really want to distance themselves from the current police system, and having a former police chief taking the reins really ticks them off a little. Right. So that might not be appreciated by everyone.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that. And I do want to add on to that. This was actually pretty recently. The chairman of the Black Lives Matter movement said something. He said, it would be very idiotic for Joe Biden to choose Val Demings because She was a police officer, and then he said something like people are already on the fence on him or something like that. That's what the chairman of Black Lives Matter said. So I'm not sure if people really want Val Demings to be on the ticket, but of course, this definitely does have the benefits and the drawbacks. One, she's from a swing state, but again, she lacks name recognition, so we don't really know how much help there's going to be here. And now the final top three, according to Joe Biden's campaign, is Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is probably the most well-known person on this list, probably one of the most well-known. She ran for president in 2020. She is a senator from the state of California. She is a person of color. She's half black and half Indian. She also formerly served as the Attorney General of California. That will actually hurt her. We'll explain that. Yep. I'll explain that a little bit later. So benefits-wise, she has the experience. She's been a senator. She's been an Attorney General. She was on the debate stage in the primaries, but she did clash a lot with Joe Biden. But obviously, they can just say that because everyone was attacking the front runner. She might just say that, oh, we were all just attacking the front runner anyway, so we're not sure how much of an impact that will play on this. Now, her being Attorney General is there's a lot of baggage that she carries as a result of that. There were some things said about apparently she usually took the side of cops in those cases. So obviously during this time period, that isn't really good for Joe Biden to have her on the tickets. And additionally, Tulsi Gabbard, who is a representative from Hawaii, ran for president in 2020 as well. In the primary, the Democratic primaries debate, she ripped Kamala Harris's record as an attorney general. And to be quite honest, I don't really think Kamala Harris really responded to that really well. I feel like she kind of came off as arrogant after the debate for her response. But then we have to look at the good things as well. She is a moderate, something that Joe Biden's looking for. She's also a person of color, something that Joe Biden also wants to. But then there's another drawback here, which is that she's from the state of California, which it says here is a deep blue state, deep Democratic state. So he might not really need help there. But I think this is actually a really hard choice for Joe Biden. He has to take into account whether or not he's willing to kind of take in that baggage for that reward that might come with choosing Kamala Harris as his vice president. If I had to give a percentage chance of which of these women would become the vice president, I actually Kamala Harris a 70% chance. I think that there is a 70% chance that Joe Biden does choose Kamala Harris. The other 20% chance I give to Val Demings, and the last 10% Susan Rice, because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden do have a relatively close relationship through his son Beau Biden. And Kamala Harris, although that baggage is there, I do think she might be the strongest choice. And the reason why is because she does have that name recognition that a lot of people know. Ran for president, a lot of people know her name. And I'm sure that a lot of people might go out and also vote for Joe Biden, Kamala Harris for president. And I think that's the video for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you like our content, please hit subscribe. We'll see you in our next episode tomorrow.
See ya.